literally everything was from Amazon, and like furnished the whole apartment for like $2,500.
You use IKEA ever?
No
IKEA?
No, just because I don't know if there's one up in Bama. You know what I'm saying? So I just Amazoned everything. The only thing about Amazon is when you purchase furniture, you have to build everything.
Right. And the instruction manual sometimes it's
sometimes
like really
overseas, so you don't understand shit. Yeah, no.
Yeah, sure. It's bad. So you were out in PR for a while. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so
a Colombian out in PR.
Right. Yeah, a little contradicting, right? That happened at the beginning of this year. Whenever I switched industries from obviously Southern into like the tax and finance industry.
Right.
We just saw a big opportunity. It's actually Orlando's idea. At the tax office that we were working at, we were doing good, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously Puerto Ricans are still U.S. citizens, and there was a very high majority of them that did not get the stimulus check. So and this year on the tax return, if you didn't get the stimulus last year, you have to file your taxes to be able to get it this year.
If you don't mind me asking, how come PR wasn't like gifted the stimulus?
They just had jumped through a lot of hoops to get it.
Okay.
So you could get it.
Gotcha.
But obviously, especially with it being a very Hispanic dominant community and just an older generation, technology really isn't all their thing. You had to jump through a lot of hoops, big applications. And if I'm not mistaken, all the applications were in English too, because it's through the IRS.
I see.
So it just made it a little bit more difficult for me.
Right.
So therefore, we just went down there. We were the facilitators to like, hey, just give me your information. We'll file your taxes for you. Even though you don't have taxes to file, we'll just recover your stimulus for you. And then we'll take a cut from it. And everybody was happy with it because they weren't going to get it in the first place.
Right. They needed some help.
So that just completely blew up. And it turned into just a really cool experience because we were working on an island, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Orlando's from there, but I'm not. So it was cool to like be able to almost like vacation but work at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we'd work maybe like 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. and then in the evenings the beach is a 2-minute walk.
That's awesome. Right? Where were you guys staying at? You guys Orlando had any family over there?
Yeah. So we were in 3 different spots whenever we were down there. We were in San Juan, which obviously is the capital.
Right.
Dorado, which is right outside of the capital, still kind of in the metro area. And then we were definitely like on the island side of the island with Cabo Rojo, which is kind of like just completely like more villagey type vibes.
That's awesome.
Not a lot of commercial things.
Yeah.
Like all the houses are just kind of like
primitive
beach vibes.
Real life,
exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. So like a big culture shift over there, or would you say it's
completely.
It's measurable completely?
Especially because I made the direct transfer from being up in Alabama,
right?
Working for you know what I'm saying, working for Southern Nutrition, to directly like I was here in Florida for maybe like 10 to 14 days and then straight to Puerto Rico.
Gotcha.
So I had a whole culture change of Alabama to Puerto Rico,
which
was amazing.
Interesting.
Which was amazing.
How was the Southern Nutrition up in Alabama?
It was cool. It was cool.
You were opening up a new one, or they just needed help, or
there were
what?
2 existing ones there, and I was just helping pretty much with sales in both. Obviously, Eric and Zach do freaking great here in the Claremont store.
Right.
So they sent
shirts
me up
everywhere, man.
Yeah,
shirts, cups, sups.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, it's the smartest technique, too. Eric just gives it away with a purchase because it's free marketing. People see it everywhere.
Right.
But, yeah, like the journey up there was cool because, first of all, I was staying with the owners. I was staying at the owner's house. And there was 7 going on 8 stores at the moment. So I was living up with the owner's house, got a lot of inside knowledge as to just like how he started Southern Nutrition, where he was at before. And it took kind of like obviously it put a lot of responsibility on me to help bring those stores up in terms of sales.
Right.
But it was something that was enjoyable because sales is something that I feel like I'm pretty damn good at, you know what I'm saying? And just being able to like bring somebody else or see how everybody else is progressing as well was a good experience.
So how do you approach when you go in to work that day at Southern Nutrition? And,
up in Bama?
Up in Bama. Your mindset is to sell and attract people. How do you go about that? Like, what's the steps? And
for me, I feel like I'm very decently personable. Like no matter.
There's a swagger to it. Just say it. There's a swagger to it.
And no matter who you are, too. Like you could be the whitest, most professional, or the most gangster person ever.
Right.
I could accommodate and talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And that meant just be some communication skills that I've developed over the time. But I feel like that really helps me because nobody ever feels like, okay, like I don't think you know what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
I don't think you know what I'm actually trying to get. So it's very easy for me to be able to, okay, like what's your goals? What do you take right now? What's your regimen right now?
Yeah.
And then a big thing about me is confidence. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I'm telling you something, like, there's no doubt in my mind that this is the right thing I'm telling you to do.
Yeah.
And that obviously creates the confidence in the person that's, okay, like, yeah, if he feels as confident about it, of course I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's a leader mentality for sure.
No, for sure. So, and people up there, like the employees up there, they had great sales knowledge of, like, all the products in the store, probably even better than myself.
Gotcha.
Just, it was the communication skills and the transition from knowing the knowledge to being able to getting the person to feel comfortable with you and actually purchasing the product, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So it was that transition, or me helping them with that transition there, that really helped them kind of take things to the next level.
Gotcha. What was the clientele in Bama? Was it
there was
what we would expect, or was it kind of diverse?
Like, I was in Mobile, so it's pretty city.
Gotcha.
It's one of the bigger cities as well. But what there was is no diversity. You were either white or black.
Yeah.
I saw maybe 3 Hispanics there. I was there for like 8 months, and I saw maybe 3 Hispanics there. Whenever I saw Hispanic, I started talking Spanish, like, ooh, I missed this. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't really. So
you went straight to PR.
I missed this. I went straight to Puerto Rico. But that was just unexpected.
Yeah.
That was just unexpected.
Is there diversity in Puerto Rico?
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a bubble. But in the bubble, there's a lot of diversity.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? What there has been is hella tourism down there. Hella tourism,
right.
Especially in San Juan. I'm sure you've seen all the crazy videos of like tourists just acting up down there as well.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
There's some crazy stuff
hilarious.
going on.
It's hilarious. Just like
they just disrespectful, or they doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, I guess some people call it disrespectful. Some people just call it like fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Just funny.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But there's way too many tourists down there. I think they even, when I was down there not too long ago, about a month ago, they put in a shutdown just because of the tourism. So not even because of the pandemic, but just because of the tourism. People were acting wild past curfew hours or past like nighttime hours.
Right.
And they just had to put a mandatory curfew in. But it was there's some diversity to a certain extent, but at the same time there's also a lot of similarities, which is what I like. Like everybody's very friendly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa, your uncle.
That's
like,
awesome.
Just say hi to whatever. You know
it's
what I'm
a beautiful island.
Yeah.
With beautiful people. That's awesome. Something I'll never understand is why. So in America we use the English system and around the world everybody else uses the metric measurement system.
Yeah.
I was just learning that in my nursing classes. I'm like, I don't get it.
Whenever
bro.
I first flew in, gas prices are by the liter down there. And I was like, yo, gas is extremely cheap down here. Orlando's like, no, it's by the liter, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Not by the gallon. I was like, damn, all right, for
Yeah.
sure. I got to get used to that. Because we're definitely the only ones that use that over here.
Right. So you coached me at one moment.
No,
I did like
sure.
a month of training with you.
Absolutely. How did that go?
It was heavy, man.
It was different, right?
It was different. The reason I remember I DM'd you on Instagram because I saw you were doing like online coaching for fitness.
Right.
And I used to be a personal trainer, PT, which for me, I kind of like when somebody else builds a program for me, because when I'm building a program, I kind of give myself outs and ins, and it's like I don't really like that movement because I'm bad at it, so I go with this one I'm good at.
Go with what you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
I catch myself doing the same.
Right, and I'm not comfortable with 10x10s, but then this man writes up some 10x10s.
Right.
But
so then you feel like, all right, I got to do it.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm paying for this. I'm definitely gonna get it done.
The eating was challenging, and like I feel like a lot of people still don't understand that you want to eat often and in smaller portions. So I just kind of want you to run off on that, or what do you think? What's going on?
Like food's amazing. Like nutrition in general, I feel like that's probably the topic that I'm most knowledgeable in, and mostly just because I found a passion in it, and I just dug deeper, because I don't have like any really like nutrition like college courses or anything like that.
Right.
Like I didn't go to college for it. It was really just like YouTube University.
The internet, bro.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's good stuff.
And you just got to be careful with what you learn, because obviously things can lead you in the wrong direction. But nutrition is something that there's no right way to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's no right way to do it, whether it's gaining weight, losing weight, whether it's just being healthy. There's no right way to do it. There's so many different approaches you can take. It's just whatever fits your schedule, whatever your body enjoys, because you also have to listen to your body. I can write you up a 6 meals a day plan.
Yeah.
Your body might be like, no, this isn't really for me. I'd rather just have 3 big meals. You know what I'm saying? And that's completely okay. But theoretically speaking, the small meals more often throughout the day are just going to keep your metabolism kicking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like everybody knows that. Like, eat small meals throughout the day. Metabolism keeps running.
With that being said, when you see like diets like paleo and those kind of things, do you kind of like I get it. It's like a trendy thing to do, or to you, is it like instant bullshit? Like you're
not instant bullshit. It's subjective. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's different person to person, because I can definitely see a person and they're, oh yeah, I'm on keto and I can call the bullshit off rip, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can tell when somebody's actually on keto and like they enjoy it because their body just don't function with carbs, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Their body react better from using fats for energy than carbs for energy.
Right.
And everybody's body's different. I love the blood type diet as well. If you've never really heard about that.
I haven't. Inform me. Blood type diet?
Yeah, so like obviously there's different blood types, O negative, O positive, all the good stuff. So there's, according to your blood type, there's just a description of what your blood according to your blood type, what your body likes, whether it's higher protein, higher carbs, higher fats, lower whatever. I'm not exactly sure on which. I just know for my blood type what it is, and I like that because there's actually some logical science behind it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody functions differently, and there's different reasons to why they function differently, and your blood is definitely a very important source as to why one of them would be.
For sure. Yeah, I think, I hate to say this, but I feel like sometimes in the gym, I can gain strength, but it's hard for me to gain size.
Calories.
And you think so?
Calories.
Okay.
Like there's no calories. There's no way around that. Calories, you know what I'm saying?
Stay out of a calorie deficit.
Just calories, you know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised as to how, like, if anybody just tracked their calories for a full week, I feel like everybody would be surprised.
What do you track with the app, the MyFitnessPal?
Yeah, MyFitnessPal
That's a good
is probably
one.
the most.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't have to track calories anymore. I feel like I could look at a plate of food and
add it up.
Yeah, like mentally kind of have like that mental macro count.
That's about 700 right there. Just walk around a restaurant.
Restaurants are difficult because they cook with a whole bunch of butters and oils, which are things you can't see but still add a lot of calories.
Yeah.
Sauces and things like that. But for every like clean plate of food, it's pretty easy to be able to determine, okay, that's approximately that much.
Gotcha. With programming, like, how do you step into like building a program for somebody? Does it vary per person biologically, or
obviously gender, male to female, is going to be your biggest different.
A lot of squats.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Most females don't really want the biggest of upper body, so they don't need to be doing upper body 3 times a week.
Some do. Some girls I see killing it in the gym, man.
Jacked. No, for sure. So
I get intimidated sometimes. I'm like, I shouldn't feel this way. You're doing great.
No, for sure. I got to get more calories in. But yeah, it's subjective according to their goals, according to where they're at in their life, age as well. I can't have 50-year-old women doing a 10x10 program. They'd wake up not being able to walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not going to work.
And then cussing me out. But yeah, programming is special because you also, I'd say there's a little bit of like just my own twists and turns to it.
Gotcha.
To where I learn off of the client as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like give me feedback. How did this week? You know how I always ask you. I always have typically in my programming a column for like notes as well. Hey, give me feedback on
I saw
each exercise.
Like a shared document on the laptop. Yeah.
So my favorite programs to definitely write up though have got to be just strength.
Gotcha.
Just somebody that wants to build strength. They're not really too worried about what they look like, whether they lean down, get bigger. They just want to get their numbers up.
Gain numbers,
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
At that point, do you go by like percentages and
correct
from your max
percentages,
kind of thing?
RPEs, which is your rate of perceived exertion, which is pretty much how heavy or how hard that set was or how hard that exercise was.
Gotcha. And
then according to that, you could the following week or the following upper body day that they're doing a similar movement, tone it down, tone it up, add volume, take volume away.
With strength training, I feel like you have to keep a close eye on like your central nervous system because you can easily plateau if you fry it.
Yeah, no,
I like
sure.
that. Fry your central nervous system. That's funny. But
Absolutely.
Enough pre-workout can fix that. No, I'm just playing.
No, not at all. If anything, that's gonna work in the opposite direction because pre-workout definitely touches your central nervous system as well.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. I had Dane Whitaker on the podcast.
Neck.
His neck is huge, man.
Solid, bro. He's always on that neck machine.
Yeah.
3 plates.
Just like you pansies don't know. Oh man, that neck machine's great. But he was saying, we were talking about pre-workout and how like taking it every single day for say 5 to 10 years straight, like we're talking about like beta alanine and of course the caffeine and all those things. It's like taking that every single day is this like have a long-term effect on your health possibly, meaning like maybe even like cancerous things
that I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, I would not be able to tell you on that. I've been using it for 3 or 4 years. What I do know is that your body builds tolerance to anything that's a stimulant. So that's like the logical thing that I could definitely 100% stand by is any type of stimulant, which beta, citrulline, caffeine, all those are, your body builds tolerance to it. So if you take it for 5, 10, 15 years down the road, that's why you have these older men that could, like, for example, like at Southern, I'd have these older men that have been lifting for 15, 20 years. Yeah. Yo, I don't feel this shit. I don't feel this. Like, you've been using it for too long. Maybe take a month break and then come back.
Take a break, you crackhead.
Exactly. So that's really that's the biggest thing is that I don't think directly it would have any negative side effects, but indirectly because you'll have to start using more to feel the same effect that you felt 5, 10 years ago. And then at that point, you're adding more of everything, more caffeine, more citrulline, you know what I'm saying? Then it's just going to be too overwhelming for your body because you shouldn't be taking those large amounts of these products.
Something I find interesting is that, like, with caffeine, like, people are affected differently by certain amounts of caffeine because of, like, you know, the enzymes to absorb and digest these things are different in everybody. So some people could, like, you know, people who drink alcohol, like, it's kind of like alcohol tolerance. Like, some people take a shot and they're out.
And it's weird because I don't know the science behind, like, what makes somebody more tolerant to one thing than another. Because I have people that are like, no, I can't do any caffeine in my pre-workout. It's just makes me, all right, cool. Yeah. There's non-stimulant pre-workouts. And then same thing with alcohol. There's some people that, like, you know Benny, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Benny is, like, beyond, like, alcohol's water to him. It's like, hey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tolerance is beyond.
Speaking of Benny, that Sports Center video with what's his name? Devontae Friga.
Yeah, Friga. That
was great. He was locking him up the entire game, though. I thought Benny did great.
I was in Puerto Rico and I FaceTimed him talking shit. No, he did. It was just a good shot, you know, like, shit happens.
For you listeners, if you don't know, there's a Ball is Life. It's like a basketball sort of
crew,
crew, and they travel around to pick up basketball, and they play. And our boy Benny, great player,
phenomenal
Garden,
player.
Probably one of the best guys out there, Friga. And he was on Sports Center getting scooped up.
Hey,
it's okay.
How does the saying go? Like, any publicity is good publicity, right? Everybody knows who Benny is now.
I know. That was great.
Even if it's for that, everybody knows who Benny is.
Yeah. I'm in a couple different Snapchat group chats, and there was just pictures of Benny.
For sure.
In the video, I'm like, that is publicity for sure.
It was funny. They took it to Twitter after and started talking shit on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. A lot of people don't know the importance of mobility because people tend to have these what do I want to say, impingements and things like that, and they never address it. They think it's just their body.
Like, I just can't do that exercise.
How much do you focus on mobility, like, for people who can't move their arms behind their head?
I'd say it's a solid, like, 70-30 split.
Gotcha.
30% mobility, 70% is what the actual work you put in the gym. Your typical bench and all the other good stuff.
Because you can do both at the same time. I know a lot of motions for like decline dumbbell bench.
Rows.
Well, I do like decline, and you go back, get that great stretch on the pec. Because when I first started, my shoulders were really rolled forward. Like in the basketball days, I don't know, that little skinny guy with the.
For sure.
So that really fixed it a lot, and also training back. So
the biggest thing about our mobility is that the average human, like, for the most part, we always sit. You know what I'm saying? We always sit, and I don't know, like, what the percentage is, but we have horrible posture.
Oh, yeah.
While sitting, while slouching, like, our phones make us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're like this all day long. Like, it just makes us into a bad curve, and then that just transfers into everything. Yeah. When we're walking, when we're sitting in our car, just whatever it is, like, you should always, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I always, like, my friends hate me for this, but I always, whenever I see him with bad posture, I'll, like, slap him in the back and tell him to tighten up. Like, yo, tighten up, sit up.
I like your cut, G.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a conscious effort to remember to
and
roll those shoulders back a little bit.
I feel like sometimes good posture is more uncomfortable than bad posture. And that's why people tend to do the bad posture, because you're just chilling here. Up here, you actually have to have your core tight. You know what I'm saying? You have to think about having good posture.
We were talking about Joe Rogan right before the podcast, and I don't know if you've ever noticed, but he's always sitting with perfect posture, man.
Perfect, yeah, no, for
just
sure.
like this.
Especially somebody like him, he's probably sitting down half of his day.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
He's done like a 5-hour, 6-hour podcast before.
Oh, he's done crazy stuff.
I'm like, man, how do you sit down for 6 hours and talk?
The crazy thing is that for the most part, the majority of it is very entertaining, very interesting.
It is, yeah.
So he keeps people hooked and all that good stuff.
I think he did a great job because right now, a lot of media is all super edited and people plan out what they're saying. And Joe Rogan just has these wonderful, crazy people on and just completely unscripted, just go at it.
The randomness
That's what
of
the people want to
too.
see.
Yeah, the randomness of people too. Like it's not just one specific. Like he'll go from the right to the left, all the way down the full spectrum.
Yeah, he had this author/doctor on. I don't remember her name right now, but they were talking about how plastic. There's the thing called phthalates in the plastic, and whenever it moves from like room temperature, it's causing like sperm counts to deplete, and it's like scientifically like there's case studies in Harvard and Yale, and it's like been proven. And I'm like, that's so scary. I'm not gonna even like think about it. Yeah, like I'm just gonna drink my coffee in peace.
For sure. There's some things that like if you really like sat and thought about all the negative potential side effects, like I mean just like using our phone, you know what I'm saying, like all the radiation that it did. I saw some what was it, like there's some article about like if you have your phone connected to power next to your sleep, your brain's always receiving like those signals from the Wi-Fi and things like that. And
like, 5G causes COVID. COVID isn't real, it's the 5G.
Like, nah, for sure.
Oh, science is going crazy, man. Mars, artificial intelligence, brain chips. Elon Musk is kind of sending us into the next century.
Elon Musk is doing that for sure, and he's having a blast with it. It's the best part. He's having fun with it.
He's a hard worker, man. I see some posts about him talking about his day and how it's like 23 hours of work, and he sleeps in the Tesla factory and stuff. I'm like,
really?
Dedicated man. Yeah, he said he sleeps sometimes just goes in the lobby and sleeps on the couch, and first guy there in the morning at 5 a.m.
Is that recent?
I don't know if it's recent. Okay. I probably read that like a year ago.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if he's still currently doing that,
he's like, come on, man.
He needs to be chilling, just being an innovator at this point.
He's filthy rich.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well deserved though. So with talking about COVID and all that, how was that specifically for you? I know you made a lot of changes.
Yeah,
you said you stepped into a lucrative business with masks and sanitizer and whatnot. And
COVID was like, as contradicting as it sounded, a blessing.
Yeah,
I know for some people
it was.
For some people, obviously, it's been the worst times of their lives. For me, thankfully, it's been a blessing.
Everybody's safe and
for sure. Yeah. Some people caught it, but it wasn't nothing past your 14 days of feeling like a flu, and then you're good. You know what I'm saying?
No taste, no smell.
Yeah, no, for sure. I actually feel like I got it, but I actually tested negative, but I didn't have taste or smell for like 7 to 10 days. But I tested negative.
Same.
Which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be COVID.
Yeah.
But COVID was cool. We were called opportunists at the time because obviously whenever this all came down, the first thing Orlando and I thought of were, okay, how can we make money off of this? You know?
Right.
And we got connected with, Orlando's been connected with this person for a while now. He used to work for him. But it was this older guy that was in the sanitizer business, or he was in the ethanol business and kind of just chemicals business. Obviously, ethanol is the main ingredient in hand sanitizer. So the factory that he was connected with switched over from just producing ethanol to switch to making hand sanitizer. They got FDA approved, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. We had one of the first sanitizers that were FDA approved because last year, like, everybody was making hand sanitizer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of them, they even had a lot of recalls on them because they weren't the right percentage of alcohol. It wasn't really sanitizing. You had, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but if you'd go into random spots and always use your hand sanitizer, there were some that smelled like ass.
Horrible, bro.
Like ass.
I walked into TJ Maxx one day during quarantine, masked up and everything. I pissed him on. I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? I'm looking around. I'm like, who is
through
filthy
the mask
around
and
me?
Everything, right?
I'm like, oh man.
And that's just
piss.
Yeah, it was
like piss.
There's different things that cause that, but
gotcha.
It helped us kind of like take things into perspective in terms of how easy it was to make money and to get connected last year, because we just in the small group of people that we know in like the business, because at the time, like, I was just, I was a hard worker and I did my side, like, nutrition. And, but I wasn't really in the full entrepreneur business yet until last year, whenever this happened.
Because you've always been, I feel like you've always been networking with friendships and whatnot and social media.
For sure.
So now that you're getting down to the nitty gritty and actually talking to people with connections, that's awesome.
Right, exactly. And that's always been an important part. I knew that the more people you know, the more opportunity you have.
For sure.
Just simple,
1,000%.
Simple as that, because you never know when somebody else can help you or you can help somebody else with whatever service you provide. Mm-hmm. But yeah, last year it started off with sanitizers. We were selling sanitizers by a 270-gallon tote.
Wow.
So big. I'm sure you've seen the
It's a big
totes.
boy.
Yeah, 270 gallons of sanitizer. So we couldn't just sell that to anybody. We'd find like cities, like the city of Groveland ordered a couple of totes from us, and they were giving it out for free. But that's really where we got our foot in the door, and that transitioned into a lot of our customers being like, "Hey, you have sanitizer. It's been great. By any chance, do you guys also have gloves and masks?"
Right.
And we were like, "No, we don't, but give us a couple weeks and we'll look for it, whatever."
Gotcha.
And we just got connected with the right people. Funny thing is that actually one of my main connections in the medical industry was through Paul, which is the owner of Southern Nutrition. So it's
Gotcha.
crazy how that all kind of revolved around.
Yeah.
And it was a journey for sure. It went from being like just selling sanitizers around Central Florida to being on phone calls with like the Department of Defense for the whole United States. Like,
oh wow,
crazy,
that's cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We were on the phone with like generals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing too big, like nothing life changing, like no deals life changing happened. Obviously it was very lucrative, but it was more so the experience of, first of all, like how you present yourself, especially over the phone and email, whatever the case might be, is really like the most important thing when it comes to business, because obviously they're not seeing your face. They don't know who you are. You're just strictly making connections via phone call and email.
Right.
And I highly doubt that anybody that we were on the phone with knew that we were, at the time I was 20 and Orlando was 21. We were some 21 and 20-year-old people that had access
Claremont,
to millions.
Florida.
Right, Claremont, Florida, that had access to millions and billions of masks, gloves, or whatever other materials they needed. So it was an experience for sure, and we got to travel a little bit. We got to go visit some of the factories. So it was cool. It was definitely stressful because of the time differences, and at time like the pandemic was definitely worldwide. So we were even having like 4 or 5 a.m. phone calls because it was somebody in Sweden that needed to talk to us.
I see.
So their time was 4 p.m. We had to wake up at a random time just to make a phone call.
Right.
So it was stressful but fun.
I think it's easy to pull, because you had to preface that by saying, "Oh, profiting off a pandemic."
Yeah.
I think it's easy to like politicize that, but at the end of the day, like you're distributing sanitizer and masks. Everything's a business. At the end of the day, you're distributing it.
Everything's a business. Like, I'm not gonna give shit out for free.
Right.
That I paid money for.
Yeah. Some people took quarantine off. Others rose from the ashes, and some fell really really far down. But those little parts are.
Some people just took a
What
break
molds
from
you.
life, right?
Right. I did that
took-
for the first month. I'm like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sitting in my house playing NBA 2K. I'm like,
All day long.
this is not me. I'm
Yeah.
like, and honestly, quarantine really kicked my butt to like get this rolling, this whole podcast idea.
Is that when you kind of started all this?
Yeah. I guess a little bit the idea stemmed in me,
Mm-hmm.
and everything opened back up. I was working again at Carrabba's, and I remember I worked like just a 8 or 9 hour shift, but was serving. You're like always running and walking, right? I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, is this really what I'm gonna do for the next couple of years before I graduate college? I'm like, I love conversation. I love like networking as you
Meeting
do.
new people. Yeah.
Right. And I love podcasts. I'm like, I love listening to podcasts. I love having those late night conversations. I'm like, throw a camera on, get some mics.
Absolutely.
Throw a camera on.
Absolutely. Get viewers,
Yeah.
make money.
Yeah, you're a successful man, bro. I'm proud of you
for
over
sure, I
quarantine for
appreciate
doing
it.
that.
Especially because you know me for a while now.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. Started off as just hooping.
yeah. Jits hooping.
Yeah. For sure.
Man, those were the days. That was crazy stuff.
No, absolutely.
I wanted to dig into the tax life a little bit, because you went down to PR to help them get their stimulus and whatnot, but you were also doing tax returns for people and stuff.
So tax returns I did for pretty much, like down there I can't do any of their taxes because if they work over there they have to file taxes with their own corporation down there.
Okay.
But obviously I did taxes for a lot of my close friends, and it was cool, mostly just learning the system, learning how money works, how money revolves.
I was gonna say, because a lot of people our age, like me included, I'm not really too sure. I know I filed my tax with TurboTax or something. I'm not too sure.
You kind of just plug in numbers as to what it tells you.
Exactly. I'm like,
Line
you're giving me
one on your
$1,000.
W-2,
Cool.
right,
Yeah.
Exactly. No, like there's so many things that at our age we need to know that isn't taught.
I know. That's
And
crazy.
I've realized that these past 12 months, this past year, there's so many things that, like, even from like simple as like credit and credit cards, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
we don't get
right.
taught that.
Yeah.
We have to kind of like, our parents teach us that, but if our parents don't have good credit, then it's like, okay, where do we really learn from?
Yeah.
And I feel like it leads people to like a spot to where they're very easily manipulated as well. You know what I'm saying? Just by
that.
like, I just don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna follow kind of like, okay, like I've been told this, and that. That's just what I'm gonna follow.
Right.
In the tax industry, it's simple. The biggest thing is there's hella loopholes. Obviously, we know that all the rich people use it. Like how Donald Trump only pays $700 in taxes. Like
outsource.
Right. There's hella loopholes. It's been cool to learn that all as well. One of the biggest reasons why Puerto Rico is definitely like a huge thing right now, especially for even big time people here in the United States. Like, I can't remember which one of the Paul brothers, but one of them's like moving down.
I think
to
it was
Puerto
LP.
Rico.
Yeah, it was Logan.
One of them's moving down to Puerto Rico or something like that. And we looked into like, okay, like there's got to be reasoning behind all these big time artists from Cali going down to small Puerto Rico. Besides it being a really nice island and stuff like that. And there's a lot of things that in Puerto Rico, if you have a business established there and one over here established in the States, there's a lot of tax cuts because you're helping out one of the territories and things like that. So learning things like that have definitely put us into a position to where we can now move forward and act accordingly. One of the biggest things that I'll probably recommend is learn taxes.
Get informed.
Get informed with taxes.
For sure.
So that you understand why you pay out certain percentages as to why you do, and then how to potentially avoid paying out as much if you may not need to. Tax write-offs are a big thing. I'm sure everybody's heard of a tax write-off, but some people may not actually understand what that is, and it's just having business expenses and being able to take that from your total revenue of what you made.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, taxes and credit and loans
Finance
and
in general,
real estate, anything finance, business. It's not taught in school, I mean, you could do business in college, but
Yeah.
a lot of it's bullshit. Like the education system, they teach you so many insignificant things. Like with nursing, I was just talking to my parents about this. Like, man, put me in a hospital for 2 or 3 weeks, like just straight up, and have them teach me.
I'll pick it up. First person.
Like I'll be a great nurse within 6 months. Like, but instead I'm going through 4 to 6 years of school.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm paying out the ass. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I can do this. Like, I'm competent. I can learn.
That's kind of how I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I enjoy reading things that I'm interested in, but if I'm not interested in, like, that's just not how I learn. I'm not really a book learner, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In a classroom, somebody just speaking to me. Like, I'm a more hands-on person learner.
And I think it's statistically proven, too, that, like, active recall and, like, physically doing the things is always going to be better.
Obviously, there's a lot of industries that, like, you can't work around, like medical industry being one of them. You can't work around college. There's definitely a lot of book work that you have to know to be able to put your hands on a human and things like that. But for like the majority of industries, like especially like anything just entrepreneur business related, you just want to start something. Like easiest way to do it is just learning by doing it.
Because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs think school's kind of like bullshit. At least that's what some of the social media guys that post inspirational stuff say. You know what I mean? Gary Vee. Don't go to school. That shit's stupid. Ty Lopez. What's that one goofy video of him?
Oh, man.
And Cedar Rapids or something.
His YouTube ads are like, sometimes they just piss me off.
He has a whiteboard behind him. Look at this. It's like $10,000.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Like school, like I have a love-hate relationship with it. I personally started college just because I was dual enrolled. So I was able to get like free credits after I graduated. I think I did one semester of like 2 or 3 classes. That's when I realized like, like this just really isn't for me. And obviously it's done well. Mostly it's just because like I've definitely hustled a big part of my life.
For sure.
And just gone out and done certain things. Not everybody has that characteristic or that personality to be able to do it.
1,000%.
So you also have to analyze yourself and be real with yourself. Like if you're not going to go to school, are you actually going to do something else? Are you actually going to motivate yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it is going to be internal motivation. There's not going to be somebody pushing you and driving you.
Yeah.
You have to kind of find that within yourself.
Yeah. That's why I feel like online classes are difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah,
because they wake up and they don't have a to-do list. Do you use a to-do list, or
all day long.
You have your day planned out for the most part?
Yeah, I would say so. Because I mean, you remember last week whenever you hit me up, I was like, we were trying to set up a specific time for this podcast, and I was like, give me a week because I got to see what I got going. There's just so many things that I have going on. and I have to have a little calendar. Sometimes I'll use my actual like Google Calendar. A lot of times just a simple notes app.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll just literally type in my notes app.
Yeah,
It's just for me to refer back to.
When I was messaging you, I could tell. I'm like, this is. I feel like I'm looking in a mirror right now because whenever I'm trying to schedule something, I'm very particular. I'm like, okay, what day, what time?
Mm-hmm.
I have this, I have that. But yeah, I have like always a notes tab that has to-do list, reminders, long-term, bills, like short-term.
Exactly.
Like that keeps me alive, bro.
Yeah.
I think success favors the prepared mind for sure.
All day.
So that's huge for me.
You
That's
going
huge.
into a day unprepared is going to make it unproductive.
Right.
Or less productive than what it can be.
Huh.
I'm sure you can still get some productive things done, but if you make a list and set just small daily goals, you're going to be more productive. And you do that day by day, you're going to end up also being more productive.
Yeah. It's almost like life is to relate it to like the gym, it's like you go in with a program, you're going to see success. You're going to see your goals achieved.
Literally.
With life, you have to have a program set. You have to have these sets and reps, meaning, you know, what you're reading and what you're doing, who you're talking to. I think that's extremely important.
Fitness, the gym, and just nutrition in general is something that I feel like you can correlate to almost anything.
Right.
Anything and everything.
Right.
Like just the consistency behind, if you want results, consistency. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And the fact that there's so many, like in the fitness industry, just like in life, there's so many different routes that you can take. You know what I'm saying? You can be just an athlete. You can be a powerlifter, strongman. You can just be strictly bodybuilding where you just want to look good. In life, there's a lot of things.
CrossFit.
Right. If you really want to take that. If you really want to do that to yourself, I guess that's an option.
Yeah, a lot of injuries come out of that, right?
No,
a lot of injuries. I have something written down right here. I saw in your bio, Ecologic Consulting. Mm-hmm. So you kind of described that to me a little bit before the podcast, but so what exactly is that?
Ecologic Consultant and Earn Not Given, those are the two businesses that I'm part owners in. Ecologic is the one that we were talking about with the pandemic. So that's kind of the one that we did all the, and I can't recall how the name came up. We were just trying to make something that was kind of like green and blue during the pandemic, selling masks and sanitizer, and also something kind of broad enough to where like this year or like next year we're not going to be selling masks and sanitizer. We can just transfer that business over to doing something else without having to change the name and the logo and all that good stuff. But and then Earn Not Given is the fitness one and that's with Benny and Larry, where we do the fitness programs, meal plans, and things like that.
So you guys teamed up?
Yeah. Me,
that's
Benny,
awesome.
And Larry, the three.
Me, Benny, and Larry.
Heads. Yeah,
that sounds like a Disney Channel.
Yeah, we did that last year during the pandemic. We were doing some crazy training last year, bro. During the pandemic, like that's definitely been some of the stupidest things I've done. And like in an athletic way, like we would, like just to give you some perspective, like in a full day period, we would do 7 a.m. hills. Like we'd be running hills at 7 a.m.
every day.
Yeah, bro. And we actually got a pretty decent group to come out and join us as well. It was fun. It was in my neighborhood over there, and solid hill. We'd do like 20-25 hills every morning. Dead every time. Then we go hit a lift at Mike's house since CF was closed. Mike had a nice little home gym. I don't know if you ever went to it.
I did. I messaged him and I was meaning to, but
a couple people that I've never expected to go were actually using the gym, and he was charging like a little $5 daily fee or whatever. So everything's a business.
Mike's a genius, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a nice gym. Like it's in his back porch. Literally had everything that we needed. You could bench, squat, deadlift. I mean, he had up to like 700 pounds, I think, something crazy like that. So he had a lot of plates, and he's been building that for about 4 years now. Yeah, it's called Gains of Glory.
Gains of Glory.
But we were just doing some crazy training, from doing hills in the morning to actually our weight training sessions would be like these crazy 10x10s, just all out
compound lifting.
Yeah, compound lifting, and then we'd go play basketball at night, like just 3 times cardio every day. We all got into some solid shape. If you guys follow Larry, this man is just
Larry
gnarly.
Muscles, man.
Just gnarly. And he actually has a lot of big things coming up. I talked to him the other day.
That's awesome.
If you guys don't follow him, you're going to want to follow him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. He has a lot of cool things coming up within a couple of weeks that he's getting flown out to California for.
Is he collabing with somebody?
Yes. Yeah.
Who?
And did he post about it already? I feel like he did.
I don't want to release
I don't want to release it in case he hasn't. No, but he hasn't posted about it yet. He sent me a couple screenshots, but it's somebody big time out there in Cali in the fitness industry that anybody has a meathead knows his name.
Okay.
So you'll see that within a week or two.
A couple names popped up, but I won't mess with that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So he has a couple good things coming as well. Yeah. So we'll see, because literally like somebody like him that already has great potential, gnarly physique,
Oh yeah.
He just needs exposure once, and I feel like he can just ride that wave.
1000%,
You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
He can just ride that wave and turn his name, Larry Muscle, into actually a big name in the fitness industry.
Because is he doing like YouTube and stuff yet, or is he just posted on Instagram?
No, just Instagram, from what I'm aware of.
Does he want to do like something like fitness influencer kind of deal?
He wants to do that. Like, that's him. That's his life.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what he wants to do.
Like I said, have a niche in your life, and then develop a small passion for videography, and then
Literally,
just like that,
for sure.
Just like
or
that.
just get a videographer.
Just
or just get a videographer.
It's $20, man. But what's weird is sometimes, like, for me, I've always tried to do this stuff myself, because as soon as I give somebody else a camera, it never turns out the way I see it.
All day.
Especially with video editing.
You edit your own videos too, right?
Yeah, 1000%.
Final Cut?
Yeah, Final Cut Pro. Yeah. Super easy to use once you get the gist of it.
Yeah,
you edit a little bit?
I got into it. I was definitely in it in high school. I was in TV production and all that good stuff. After high school, I did mostly photography. I did a couple videos here and there. Again, that was just side hustle to make some money. I bought a camera, started taking pictures and videos. I just love content in general.
Clean content.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, clean content. Like, I admire good work, whether it's pictures, whether it's videos, whatever it is. I admire good work because it can make anybody look like, you can turn anybody into anything. Yeah. Literally turn anybody into anything.
1000%.
You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
And it's all just perspective and how you work your camera angles. The song is important. You know what I'm saying? Like,
music is what inspired me to pick up a camera, because you'll see this story or this vlog or whatever it be, like, appear in your head when you're listening to this song, and you're like, man, I gotta do this.
I gotta record this.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Dude, I heard you. I was sitting in here. I was trying to record a Instagram story before you got here
with the bike,
and I heard from and it kept going for like 30 seconds. You have a really nice bike, bro. The bike life, yes sir.
That happened a year ago as well, during the pandemic.
Man, the pandemic loved you, Sam.
Oh man, like, the pandemic was a blessing. Like, I say that, and I 100% live by it. The pandemic was a blessing, and it's definitely gonna it's definitely gonna shape me for the next 5 to 10 years as to like what route I'm gonna take, because of just strictly the pandemic. Because if not, like, who knows? Like, I feel like I could still be working at Southern. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I love them to death for sure, but there's just bigger things out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Eric on the podcast at some point.
Dope.
I was talking to him at the gym. He's like, "What are you having on Sam on, dude?" And
bro, Eric's such a meathead, bro. You're gonna love him on here.
I know, he's crazy. He's a character.
He's a character for sure. I love that man.
I'm gonna clip this and send it to him.
No, for sure. But the bike life, it's something that, if you have self-control, I recommend everybody to own a bike at some point in their life.
For sure.
It doesn't have to be a crazy sports bike like the one that I have. But
maybe a Honda Grom.
You know what I'm saying? A little Grom, even a dirt bike, four-wheeler. Being on something like that, it's fun. It's like very mentally clearing as well. Sometimes I just go on bike rides just to, like, whenever they, like, just, hey, I had a long-ass day, whether it was work or just something else. Go on a bike ride, but like, on a bike, you're not thinking about anything. Yeah. You're just rolling.
Do you see more of the world while you're riding? Because, like, in a car, you're just in a box, you know?
Absolutely. Like, I feel like even here in Claremont, like, just going around all these old roads, I'm like, has that always been there? Have I just...
Right.
Has that always been there, or do I just never really recognize it or notice it? But the bike life is obviously, it's dangerous, right? As everybody knows. The majority of times I'd say it's other people's fault. Every once in a while, it's the biker's fault, just because we get confident on our bike or we start doing things we're not supposed to.
Going too fast around the corner.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. But the bike life has been a blast, especially because the day that I got my bike, it was three of us. It was me, Orlando, and Jomar, and we all got our bikes same day. Just three of us. We've been in the crew,
boys.
Literally. And then we already had like 3 or 4 other people that had bikes. So as soon as we got our bikes and we got comfortable on it, like, we would have like a group of 8 to like 12 people just rolling a bike.
That sounds like a good time.
We would take up the whole turnpike. Like, there'd be like 3 people in each lane and take up the whole turnpike like long ways, and we would just be rolling. Nobody could kind of go around us or through us.
You guys.
We'd be those dicks on the turnpike.
Yeah. What does your mom think about this, man?
The day I brought the bike home, she was bawling her eyes out.
She was crying.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. She was crying. She was obviously, like, as any mother would. You know what I'm saying? she just prayed for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing you can do. Just pray for me and know that I'm going to be responsible on it.
Of course.
And if anything happens, like anything happens. It's just part of the risk of having a motorcycle.
The highway is the only thing that like scares me when I see
the highway is the safest, I think.
You think so?
For a motorcycle.
Okay.
For a motorcycle.
Because people can't turn out and
people don't do random shit like pop a U-turn. You know what I'm saying? On a highway. So I feel like the highway is definitely the safest. Even though like speed, and obviously there could be like if there's random like tires that pop on the road, and if there's something like that laying on the road, like if you hit that, you're done. You know what I'm saying? The bike's not gonna go through that. But I feel the safest on the highway because the speed isn't really the thing that makes you feel uncertain. It's a lot of times not knowing what the driver's gonna do. Yeah,
I was heading to Miami. This was like I was like 17 years old. All the Chick-fil-A managers and stuff, we were all going to Miami. Yeah. First like big trip, you know. It's like, oh, we're like growing a fun trip, right? Right. Like, we're gonna drink underage. Like, it's gonna be awesome. We were driving there on the turnpike heading south, and there was this biker, and he was like popping wheelies at like 90, 95 miles per hour. And he kept popping the wheelies, and we were recording, kind of like at him. I'm like, yeah. And we felt so bad because this man almost wiped it. Like, we would have stopped, of course, because I asked him, I'm like, hey, if he did actually crash right there, like, would we have stopped? Like, what kind of people are we? And I was like the one that said, yeah, and everybody else was like, nah, man. I'm like, damn. But he popped a wheelie, and there was a car in front of him, and he just didn't gauge how close he was and approaching to that car, and he
came down.
His tire like almost touched the license plate, and then he turned right and like really got crazy, bro. Sheesh. And then he just like got off the next exit because I think he was like, oh man. Like,
probably had to check his drawers, bro. Yeah. Like for sure, you definitely have a couple moments on there where you're like, all right, that was a little too close for comfort.
Heart racing, with that hot flash.
Heart racing, you're sweating, going 100 miles an hour for sure.
Oh man.
No, but it's life has been good, bro. Life has been good. The biggest thing I feel like people need to experience is financial freedom. That doesn't necessarily mean being a millionaire, being rich. Is being able to wake up at your own time, go to sleep at your own time, create your own schedule, and not having somebody just like telling you what to do all the time.
1000%.
I feel like that creates the real individual in like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Being able to self-discipline and make choices as well. Because our whole lives, obviously, like for the most part, you have parents. They're gonna tell you, yes, do that, don't do that. Yes, do that, do that. You know what I'm saying? Especially I had strict parents growing up. But once you kind of take initiative into doing your own thing, you realize the type of person that you are, whether it's good or it's bad. The good thing is that you have the power to shape yourself as well. And then you tend to enjoy life with like a different, like there's just a different vibe to life. You know what I'm saying? You actually, instead of just like waking up and doing, you're actually living, if that makes any sense.
That makes complete, I feel like a lot of people just heard that and the wheel started spinning.
No, for sure. Instead of just waking up and doing the same routine you've been doing for some people have been doing it for 5-10 years, and others, like for the most part, everybody in our age, we've probably just been doing the same thing for the last year or 2 years. But it's like, how long do you want to do that for? Are you enjoying what you're doing? If you're not enjoying what you're doing, like, what do you enjoy to do?
Yeah, longevity. I feel like I don't want to invest too much time in anything that doesn't have longevity or benefit to me. That's why when I was at Carrabba's that one night, I'm like, this doesn't, I'm still working there part-time, but like this doesn't have longevity.
All right, absolutely.
Like, I'm not going to be a server for the next 3 years of school or even after that. Then I'm going to be a nurse and then work 3 12-hour shifts a week.
That's what you're going to school for, nursing?
Yeah, man. It's good stuff.
When did that passion come up?
I did my EMT out in Gainesville up there. I did my EMT. We did our clinical hours. And when I was doing my clinical, I'm like, man, I'm good with this. Like, and plus I have this, it sparks a passion because you're like, this is important. There was a couple instances where I'm like, this is real shit right now. I'm like, this isn't a movie. Yeah. Like, I'm a student EMT next to my paramedic. Like, and this is in front of me. This person's like, you know, in pain or dying, or this person's like beating his wife. Like, we got to figure this out. I'm like, man, this is fun.
Real life. Yeah,
this is fun. But I went the nursing route because it's better pay for sure. And
now, if something like the podcast takes off, you know what I'm saying? Could you easily see yourself shaping into a different direction?
1000%.
Yeah.
1000%. I'm going to continue my education with nursing just so I have that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I love to do this. And plus, I don't want this just to be a podcast. Like, I want it to have an audience, but that audience can do whatever with me or with the people around me. Like, networking, like, that's huge. Like, we're all together in this. So.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that, for anybody listening, make as many connections as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't burn any bridges with anybody that you don't need to burn. Obviously, there's always going to be relationships that need to be cut off, but don't burn any bridges that don't need to be burnt, because you never know when somebody can help you out with something, or when you have the capability of helping somebody out with something.
Yeah. I don't have any enemies, at least in my eyes, which that's the only thing that matters.
Nah, for sure. That's the only thing that matters.
If somebody's an enemy to me and I don't even know it, I'm like, all right, cool.
You have fun dealing with that.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. You have fun dealing with that. Nah, for sure. Same here. I don't feel like I have beef with anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes Benny.
That's a healthy beef, bro.
That's a healthy beef for sure. The competitive beef.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I know that I don't know if you have that topic written down, but I definitely want to touch into the crypto topic here shortly.
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah, no,
cool. You've been digging into crypto?
For sure. Puerto Rico,
Since
definitely.
when?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Well, yeah, some of the guys that were working with us down there, they're heavily invested into that, and it's beyond lucrative. Lucrative, especially in the stage where everything is growing right now.
Yeah. Are you investing in like odd end coins, or are you just kind of sticking with like Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot?
All. Yeah. Literally any that have potential. All.
You think it could happen to where crypto becomes the currency that we all used? Meaning,
I just don't see how it wouldn't.
It wouldn't, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's maybe probably not 3 or 5 years, but I just don't see how it wouldn't happen.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is becoming a screen. Everything is becoming electronic.
Yep.
Like, especially like after this past year, like the government's printing out so much money that we're not backing. Beyond. Like,
it's bad.
Like, we're in a bubble. We're in a financial bubble right now, and it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
It's gonna pop.
And
you know what I'm saying? Inflation is gonna just take off to where the dollar bill is gonna be worth a lot less. That's
time for crypto to sweep in and
like, yeah, no, for sure. Like, especially because you have all these big time people backing it. We talked about Elon earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like, this man just started Doge as like a little hype. Like, I don't know how, you know what I'm saying? But I just, even if it is just a joke to him, the power that he has and the voice that he has in our whole world, you know what I'm saying? He can just switch things and shape things into honestly, like, kind of whatever he wants.
Make something out of nothing.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like, obviously, we've all seen that with this whole puppy coin or whatever the hell it is.
I haven't seen that.
No, like the puppy coin being Dogecoin.
Oh, the Dogecoin?
Yeah.
Like, there's a Dogecoin, so I wouldn't be surprised about a thing called a puppy coin.
There's coins nowadays that are hilarious names because it doesn't cost much to make a coin.
Yeah.
That's where you also have to be careful because I can make a coin right now. You know what I'm saying? I think the average cost now is like $3,000 to $5,000 to start your own cryptocurrency.
Gotcha. Is that something you've thought of doing or anything like that?
No, not at the moment. By no means. You have to be somebody to start a cryptocurrency.
It's way over the head right now.
But even if I get all of Claremont to invest in my cryptocurrency, we're still not shit. Crypto is something that has definitely put into perspective how quickly the world is going to shift. And we just have to be ready for it.
Right.
We just have to be ready for it and preferably even invested into it. That way we can reap the benefits of it.
Remember, I first downloaded Robinhood and Bitcoin was at like low 20,000.
No, for sure.
And now it's at what, 60, 70? Is it still floating around there or did it drop low?
I think it dropped last week to like into the 40s, but it's up into the 50s right now.
Like, my money could be double right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. But are you looking to invest into crypto for a long time and hold? Or are you buying low, selling high?
Because there's different types of coins. Obviously, your safe ones like the Ethereum, the Bitcoin, the Binance. Those are safe to put money into and just hold for years. You know what I'm saying? But there's also all these small coins. We call them shit coins that are just coming up, and they are so small that they're gonna grow, but they have no real purpose behind them, so they're eventually going to crash. But as long as you ride the wave at the right time, make money, get out, make money, get out, make money, get out. And crypto is a concept there's a lot behind it that even I don't understand yet, because it's not really. It's like the internet, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we know what the internet is, but do you really understand it?
Yeah, waves go to this satellite and then come back.
You know what I'm saying?
Seconds.
Like, do you really understand it? No, but we all know how to use it. That's the same thing for crypto. Like, it's going to be, unless you're just really like diving deep into it, you're never going to really fully understand it. But just know that it's a virtual currency, and it's really kind of like where everything is headed, and it is beyond lucrative.
Yeah, people want the government to. Because the banks and the government and everything and loans, everything's been so the same. And sometimes capitalism shows that it can't work and there has to be losers, but that's a whole nother topic that we won't dig into. But crypto, I think, shows a way to where we don't have to be super regulated anymore. Like, you can buy a house with some Bitcoin, or whatever it turns out to be. But
just I was reading an article, it was like a month or two ago. It was like the first real estate purchase in Puerto Rico with strictly coin or crypto. And it happened, and instead of taking because typically it's like 7 to 10 days for a wire transfer, especially if it's an international wire transfer, Bitcoin takes like 20 minutes to transfer money. So it's like, it's going to make everything simpler. It's going to make everything more advanced. It's going to make everything quicker, which that's what everybody wants.
Is the blockchain, or I guess I shouldn't say the blockchain, but I've heard of young hackers like taking Bitcoin out of people, but I know there's like protection like Coinbase and stuff you can use, or
so there's different wallets that are encrypted. Obviously the bad thing about anything electronic is that even with as many firewalls, anything can be hacked, right? So that's obviously something that they're still working and perfecting on. Thankfully, like me and like everybody that I know in my close circle that's doing all this crypto stuff, like nobody's really been, obviously we're not making enough money to where hackers will even care to really come in here and wipe our wallets out. They typically go for the millions.
Elon's pockets or
something like that, right? But yeah, there's wallets that are encrypted that make it a lot harder for it, but at the end of the day, I think that's something that still needs to be perfected, but that's always going to be something that I feel is going to be an issue that we're kind of have to be okay with, and just hope that we're not the person that gets hacked. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like you're walking down.
It's like bank fraud. You know it happens nowadays still. It's a routing number and an account number. People can get money taken out of their bank, but you still put money in the bank.
Exactly. And even to the most primitive sense, like you're walking down the street with some cash. I mean, anybody can take that shit.
For sure. Just
a couple guys turn the corner, you can't do anything about it.
About in person, at least you can fight back. Over the internet, over your wallet, your crypto wallet, you can't necessarily fight back.
Probably somebody like Elon will fight back. They'll like start typing back them and take all their coin.
For sure. But things have been smooth. Things have been smooth.
Nice, is this the best year of your life, would you say? No, every year brings
for sure
new beginnings, but
absolutely
happiness levels at an extreme. This year.
For sure. Especially because I've been able to do so. Biggest thing is traveling. I've been able to go to different places. Like this upcoming, in the next 10 days, I'm going to be in like 4 different cities just for different work things.
Gotcha.
So being able to travel has really just put first of all, like just seeing different places, how people live. And the other thing is going to be just being able to do my own thing on my own time.
Does travel stress you out sometimes though? Like, I gotta be in this city, I gotta pack all this, and I don't have this. Not yet.
Not yet. I know that it will.
Yeah.
It's still early to where I still, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna come a time where I'm like, fuck, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. for a flight. Like, right now, no, it's not dreading. It's still very fun.
Got you.
It's still very fun at the moment, and what it does do is make fitness a little bit more difficult, right? And that's something that I know that I'm always that's gonna be my passion for life. And being able to work that into traveling and just the work environment, that's what's made it a bit more tricky. I love training 6 days a week with just 1 day off. But recently, I've been having to settle for 3 to 4 days a week.
Does that hurt you? Do you notice hormone shifts? Do you notice
Nah, because nutrition stays pretty straight. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I'm not a perfect eater, but I know that I never want to be this 6-pack ab cut person, so I'm completely okay.
Just want to fill a shirt out, right?
Literally, fill the shirt out and still feel comfortable whenever I go to the beach, take my shirt off.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But hormone shifts and stuff like that, no, but I literally enjoy lifting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes just like the not being able to lift, like in Puerto Rico, I was down there almost a full 3 months, and I was only able to lift for like a month. So the other 2 months, I was really just hooping, and that's why I kept hooping up here. But that's the only thing we had was a basketball court, and obviously just to stay physically active, that's the only thing we did.
Yeah. Why'd you start fitness? And do you have a why that you carry with you, or now is it just completely a lifestyle, or is there still a why?
Whenever I started, just like, obviously fitness started through football. Whenever I played football, that's where like weightlifting started. Wasn't really fitness. That's kind of just like training because you had to.
Gotcha. No bad breakup or anything like that? Because that's for most people. They have a bad breakup and they're like...
For me, it was, did you ever know me whenever I was overweight? Or was I overweight?
I never thought you were too overweight.
Okay.
I guess maybe when I met you, you were a little bit more thin.
I would say I was relatively overweight freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah. Baby fat.
Baby fat. Sure,
yeah.
Freshman year. I don't know how much of a baby that is, but freshman, sophomore year, I was a little bit overweight, and I mean, I played football, so I didn't care, and I was a quarterback, so like being overweight wasn't a big thing because I just threw the ball. Yeah. But whenever I quit football, I was like, I need to at least get into shape.
Right.
And that's really where it started. And then realizing how easy and how quick my body, because I'd say like in a 6-month period, I went from 210 pounds of just like a little fat fuck to 175 pounds of abs. Like I had abs at one point in like junior year. Everybody it was over a summer too, so I came back the next year. Everybody's like, whoa.
Oh, you were that guy.
I was that guy.
Is that Sam?
Right.
At the
like,
cafeteria?
What the hell happened to you?
Yeah.
Just started working out, started eating better. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And then everybody saw like kind of how easy it was, and that's what really gave me the credibility to also start helping other people. Like, yo, just start eating this and this, and telling. I was just telling them what I was doing at the time.
Worked for you?
Yeah, but that's really where it started. Was I always enjoyed being active. I always played sports. You know what I'm saying? Even like as a kid, I played soccer and things like that. But I just knew that I didn't want to turn lazy after football. Started working out. Grew a passion for it. YouTubers that I followed at the time.
Yeah.
Like,
who'd you follow at the beginning?
Christian Guzman, Steve Cook, Bradley, Simeon Panda, all those.
Oh, man.
Elliot Hulse. Do you know who Elliot
I
Hulse
actually don't know
is?
Elliot, no.
Oh, man.
Is he with a brand or anything, or does he just do it?
No, he has his own brand. Strength Camp is his own brand.
Gotcha.
He's actually based out of Tampa.
Oh, cool.
Dude is, like, you should look into him. But old Elliot Hulse is really the old, because now he's
a little washed up.
Not washed up.
We won't say all that.
He's different. He's different.
Okay.
He went through a spiritual change, and he still talks fitness, but he's a lot more in depth, which is cool. Like, but I remember the OG Elliot Hulse, where he's just, you know what I'm saying, meat bars and
Gotcha.
get jacked.
Was he like bodybuilder type body, or kind of like athletic body?
He was strength training and powerlifting, just gnarly, like literally just a big person that was strong. Cool as hell. I learned a lot from him in terms of techniques and stuff like that. And that was something that I also got into at one point, was making YouTube videos and stuff like that, and just helping people with form in the gym. Because like form in the gym, like I see some things at the gym where I'm just like, why are you even doing that, man?
Oh man, there's only one thing that.
Why are you even doing that?
There's only one thing in the gym that just really sets me off, and not even talking about form, but like, I know this is the classic, but there's guys that do it. They do bicep curls on the squat rack, and all three are taken up. I'm like, I'll be like, I'm never too up front. Like, I'm not that guy in public that'll make a scene, or I'll never be that guy. I hate scenes, but like, I'll literally just stand right behind them and like just like look at the back of their head. Like, I'm burning a hole through the back of your head.
Yeah. I'm looking
like,
at you.
Come on, bro.
Come on, don't be that.
Sam's like, yo, I'll do bicep curls at the squat. He's like, I gotta load that up with a couple plates.
Yeah, as long as you can put a couple plates on there, you're allowed to do bicep curls there.
Right. If there's like 135 and he's curling, I'll back off because I might die. But
might have some trouble.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
What do you think about sumo deadlifts? Talking about form real quick. Do you think
I love
you
them.
Love them?
I'm sorry. I love them for others, not for me.
Gotcha.
I just don't have the hip mobility to really enjoy it.
Okay.
And I'm a big mobility person. I've been working on my hip mobility a lot. I just have some tight ass hips. You know what I'm saying? I just have some tight ass hips, and I can get down to the position, and I'll do it more for like a pump workout. Mm-hmm. Not a strength workout. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll get a great lower body pump, activates my core, and then my butt and all that good stuff. But I can't really get strength in there.
Yeah.
I feel like once I start adding big numbers in there, like my form starts slacking, and I just go to conventional. That's when I can really just feel like I can pull the whole world.
Right. Sometimes I see people doing like 405 or something, and they'll have a belt on. They'll be extreme sumo, shoes off, upper back's rounded, and they pull it all the way up. And I'm like, I get it. It's fun. Yeah. Have fun, man. But at the end of the day, like, how much is this like progressing you? I don't know.
And
could be.
Hey, everybody's their own person. I've also learned that a lot this last year is just like, don't try to forcibly change somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
I get that. Yeah.
Fitness, just life in general. Like, you can give advice and you can help people, but at the end of the day, they're going to make their own decisions, take their own actions. Yeah.
A big thing when I was growing up, I quickly found out how to not give a fuck sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I really just have this process go through my mind, like, do I give a fuck? I'm like, I really don't. And then I'll just move on. Yeah. Like, okay, let me go do this thing I like.
It makes your life so much easier.
Yeah.
It makes your life. Everything is mentality. I've definitely learned that as well. Everything is just mentality. If you look at something from a more positive, even if it's the worst situations like the loss of a relative, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just look at something from the most positive mentality, you'll get through it quicker. Is it going to hurt? Are you going to grieve? Of course. Like, that's just part of life.
I agree.
Life isn't meant to be easy. You know what I'm saying? If it was easy, I don't know, like, it's just not meant to be easy.
Yeah. With this podcast, I actually just said this to my dad the other day. There's been so many like hiccups in the road, like with just, I had the different camera angles and spent $800, had to return them. Like, files are corrupted, podcasts are thrown away, this, that, posting the stuff, finding out how to post it, watching YouTube tutorials. And I just kept rolling with the punches, just like anything. I'm like, if it was easy, and this is a cliche term, but I really like truly learned what it meant. If it was easy, anybody would do it.
For sure.
Anybody would have the podcast and have a beautiful set and do it. But it's not easy. That's the thing.
It's not meant to be easy either.
Yeah.
Just life in general is not meant to be easy. You're meant to go through trials and tribulations.
That's why I don't believe in utopia. I do not like utopia.
No, for sure.
I don't want everybody to be all right. I want all of us to have these...
to work for it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why, like, same thing, like, I know you said something about capitalism, kind of just, like, always something, like, there's always going to be somebody better or somebody more financially richer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
find yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Find yours.
Exactly.
Why are you looking at his?
Be content with yours work harder for yours.
Yeah.
If you want to get there, cool. Just do something for yourself.
Right.
Instead of just pitching at somebody else for being there.
Yeah, or just go off the grid. Some people just really don't like the system at all. I'm like,
for sure.
They go off the grid, they find a plot of land, they get their own cell tower, they're balling out.
Absolutely.
Man.
Everybody's different. Everybody enjoys different things as well. Like, personally, like, I don't think I could ever be that person to where just find my own plot of land and live on my own type of thing. Because communication and just having people around me has always really been my thing.
For sure.
But I know that I'm setting myself up to just, like, whatever life it is that I want, I'm setting myself up for it. You still like, I don't know, like, do you know what do you picture yourself in 5 years? Do you know where you're at? 5 years from now, are you already 22 or no?
I'm 21.
Okay, so 26 years old.
Yeah, I'll be 26. Well, in my senior quote, I said by the year 2024, I'll own the world. So that's the actual quote. So hopefully by 2024, I'll own the world.
I can give you Elon's number.
Oh, bet. Let's do it.
That'd be a good start, right?
1-800, thank you.
1-800 Tesla.
Yeah. That's easy.
Nah, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, 5 years, I can tell you my dreams and aspirations, but
what are your 5-year goals?
I want to have a really nice. I have some long term. Let me actually read this straight up. So this is the most objective answer to what you just asked.
Sure.
Successful podcast, successful stock trader, bachelor's of science in nursing,
cool.
BSN.
Absolutely.
So those are the three big ones that I'm like, I gotta write these three down.
Are you already trading stocks?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. I'm down bad though.
Yeah. Stocks is
you know Neo?
Yeah.
I bought in at I had some bad information. I learned from it. I learned to be more hesitant about what I hear.
Yeah.
Bought in at low 50. Yeah. Now it's sitting around 30 because of a chip shortage, and it'll get back up there. I think Neo is a company that will grow in China as that car industry develops, but
sure. I bought it at $55 too.
You did? Are you down right now, or you sell?
I sold. I sold, but I lost.
Yeah.
I sold on the way down. It started depreciating about 2 months ago.
Yep.
When it really took that big hit. Got down to $33.
I had a lot of my portfolio in there, and now I'm realizing I need to spread out more.
Diversity.
Money in different pockets. Can't eat all my almonds in one go.
It's not, what is it, like you can't have all your eggs in one basket or something?
Right. The reason I said the almonds is because during the training I did with you, you were like, eat 2 cups of almonds per snack, and I'm like forcing these unsalted almonds down. I'm like, I can't do this.
No, for sure.
My mouth would be like super dry.
Super dry. Hated it. I used to work my almonds into like the randomest of like food bowls. Like I throw the rice, eggs, grapes, and almonds just into one bowl or some crazy.
Chick-fil-A has this. I just tried it. It's called like their kale crunch. It's like a little side. It's kale. It's like a little bit of Dijon mustard and some flavoring, but
solid.
Yeah, man, they got like crushed up almonds that you put on top of it. My brain starts working when I eat superfood. Sometimes like I can notice my brain like just waking up. Yeah, kind of like a stimulant almost. But
I typically throughout the week I'll have like a green smoothie in the morning. Oof. It's
a good way to start.
Surprisingly, they taste decent. You know what I'm saying? They're not bad. But it'd be from like random like cucumber, celery, like ginger, and just like apple juice type of thing. Just mix it up.
Ginger hurts if there's like a lot of it.
There's a lot of it for sure, but it also adds a good kick to your drinks, and so I feel like it does help eliminate some of the bad green taste. Ginger's so overpowering. Yeah.
Have you ever had those little? They're called wellness shots at Target. Next time you stop by, grab the ginger wellness shot. I'll tell you what, that's like tequila. That's like
worse than tequila.
Maybe even like 300 proof. I would say like it's crazy.
No, for sure.
It's like It's like taking a shot of moonshine, bro.
Yeah, no fun.
My nostrils were like the rest of the day. Like I had pain in my nostrils.
And everything probably tasted like ginger for the rest of the
day. Yeah, for sure.
Because ginger's one of those flavors that definitely sit around.
Oh man.
No, for sure.
Dude, this was awesome.
It was, man.
You have anything else you want to include?
I feel like we touched a little bit of everything from the bike. That's kind of just like what my life consists of right now is mostly work, fitness, and fun for sure. You know what I'm saying? I definitely still live life, and you always have to. You know what I'm saying? You have to take mental breaks at times. Puerto Rico is one of mine. I get to go back down to Puerto Rico. I think right now the day is the 16th of May. I'll be down there for like another probably month, 2 months, just getting some more work down there.
Gotcha.
But
I skipped introduction because I'm gonna start having like a little bio in every episode. Like this is him, this is what he does.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do you want to include where they can find you on socials? Any platform you wish?
Yeah, no, for sure. Typically right now my only platform that I really stand behind is really gonna be Instagram. And it's great everybody always ask me what the hell my @name is because it's definitely weird.
What is it? Olitnak
so
or something?
It's Olitnak X. It's just my last name Cantillo backwards. So if you just spell Cantillo backwards and then with X at the end.
I see.
So
okay.
It's Cantillo backwards. So Olitnak is literally Cantillo backwards and then just X.
Okay.
I think I made this when I was like
Gotcha. I might just spell it out on the screen for sure.
I made it when I was like 15 years old and it looked cool, so I stuck with it.
Yeah.
One of these days, I might just switch it to my first and last name just to keep it simple.
For sure.
Especially for marketing and connecting purposes.
Yeah. Originally, I was going to name this the Slapwet or something like that. Okay. I couldn't get the handle, and there was a couple names I went through, and the Wet Slap had no handles. That's the hardest
thing when making a business or a name.
That's the first thing.
Bro, like whenever you're making a domain for like a website and stuff like that, or a business name, like
you DM the account saying, "Hey, please,
hey, yo, can I buy this from you, bro?" Yeah. I remember I wanted my Instagram handle to be Samson, because of long hair and everything. You know what I'm saying? And there was some guy that was like inactive on Instagram as like the
always
@Samson.
The inactive dudes.
Bro, it pissed me off.
There has to be something Instagram can do.
Something. I don't know.
Like, if they're inactive and only have like 10 followers or something, like it's like, come on, hand it over.
For sure. Hand it over. I appreciate you having me on here, bro.
Yeah, of course, man.
Whenever I have bigger things going in like a couple months or so.
I'm gonna have you back on. I'm trying to do 2 a week.
Dope.
So there's a lot of people.
There's plenty of people.
A lot of great people.
Especially because you know a lot of good people as well, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you know a lot of good people that could just give out information and probably just like complete different extremes as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's what I've already noticed. Like on Thursday, I'm having. Do you know Tyler Worrell?
Maybe by Facebook. Yeah, name doesn't ring a bell.
He is a pilot and he also does like wakeboarding. He teaches wakeboarding classes and just weird stuff.
Yeah, no,
that's what I really love about this podcast so far.
Everybody learns you always learn something different. You always learn something
sure.
different, and you get to meet somebody new, which is always cool as well.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll link again, and maybe we'll do some sort of other content for sure.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe some like pickup basketball stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff.
I feel like I've been getting good, so I've been talking a lot of shit.
Okay, yeah. Good. I'll have to start training again. That's the thing. I always walk up to the park, and I'm like, haven't touched a basketball in like 2 months, and I instantly dribble, and I'm like, oh, this is awkward.
Feel a little stiff.
Very, very.
Yeah, a little rusty. No, for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a pleasure.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Everybody
man.
listening, appreciate y'all.
For sure, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That was good stuff.
Cool. I like
Let's
it.
see
First podcast that I've been on.